bottom. See
Sweet.
where it says viewers? It'll let us know how many viewers there are. Oh, we're live. Hey, how goes it? I'm Ken Bozak from the BitcoinPodcast.com, here to talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin accessories. And today I have a co-host, D, host number 2 from the BitcoinPodcast.com. Go ahead and say hi, D.
Hey, everybody. I'm D, host number 2 of the Bitcoin podcast. I don't usually do video. I'm doing video this time. Excited to be here, answer some questions, clear up some fuzziness. So thanks for inviting me, Ken.
Thanks for being here, man. Definitely, I would like to have everybody in the chat box just go ahead and ask us about Bitcoin. And to ask us about Bitcoin, we have Timothy, JJ from the Philly Offensive. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are and where they can find your content?
Yeah, what's up? My name's JJ, and I run the Philly Offensive. It's on Facebook, YouTube, and the PhillyOffensive.tv and Instagram.
Awesome. Yeah, good stuff, man. Dude, I love how you have like such a strong following, and then it's usually people who don't understand that it's like a scripted, staged, content. And they usually people come into the Philly Offensive like hating you, and then they realize the genius of the script, and they just love you. So I feel like that's really unique. Not too many people have people fall from like that much of a deep hatred into that much of a deep love that quickly, and I feel like you have a very unique following because of that. If you could go ahead and explain to some of the people here what you do and what your content is about. Hey JJ, you there? I can't hear you.
Oh, I was covering the mic. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah, I was saying, why don't you let everybody know exactly what your content is about and how you became the Philly Offensive.
Well, I started the page 3 years ago. It was called the Tacony Offensive, and it was because a friend called me up, and I thought he was just on drugs because I didn't know what he was talking about. I was like, he smoked a lot of wet back then, and I was like, I think you need rehab, dude. And then he explained to me, no, it's a comedy page, like, because I had Facebook, and I didn't even have a YouTube at the time. And so I started it. A year later, I had 10,000 followers. A year later, I had 100, and then, and then I had close to 200,000 followers, and Facebook removed the page entirely. Said I was inciting violence.
No. Not at all. I mean, maybe, but that was because people didn't understand it was a scripted video and the violence was between themselves. Like, it was so funny reading a lot of those comments, man. It's great. People get so upset. They're upset for people, like for other people that has nothing to do with them at all. And you just see how upset people get.
Oh, I know. I mean, I don't make videos to upset people, but it is funny when someone... I mean, I've gotten death threats over videos that aren't real, and if they were real, I would go to jail or get shot. You can't go up to people, especially in Philly, in North Philly, and mess with them. And a lot of people will try to hurt you physically.
You're right.
What's like an example of one thing you've done? I'm totally unfamiliar. This is the first.
Recently, I did a video. I made a girl pick up dog shit.
Oh, okay.
That got views. That's probably about over 100 million views by now.
Like real dog shit?
What's that?
Like
no,
real?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's all scripted. It was cupcake mushed into, made it look like dog food.
Oh, okay.
But ESPN played it. I sold it to MTV. Snoop Dogg and a bunch of other celebrities were sharing it. It was pretty funny. It's basically just about a girl who was with her boyfriend, and they let their dog shit on my pavement. And I said, pick it up, or I'm going to knock your junkie boyfriend out. And she picked it up. And
with her bare hands.
Yeah. With her bare hands. And a lot of people loved it.
Oh, we loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean,
So your following is growing, man, and I know that you're seeing. I see the comments. Everybody wants to get their hands on one of those Philly Offensive shirts, one of those Philly Offensive shirts, and they're all over the world. And that's why I was telling you, you should start accepting Bitcoin so you can get your shirts to people all around the world, and you don't have to worry about any third-party services like PayPal or Visa, stuff like that. So, this is a Bitcoin talk. I wanted to see like what kind of questions you may have about Bitcoin, because Dimitrik actually has his own show on the bitcoinpodcast.com where he on-ramps people that are completely novice or, ignorant to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And he on that show, he explains why Bitcoin and how Bitcoin can help improve your life or business or whatever it may be able to help you in some way. So go ahead and just shout out some questions you may have, Jed.
All right. So you told me the other day that you bought Bitcoin for $400 a piece, and now they're worth $3,000.
Yeah, that's when I got in about a year ago, a little over a year ago. They were about $400 a Bitcoin. I got some then, and because I held them and didn't trade them, my value still grows with that, and right now they're worth about $2,703 each.
So you can take that and get cash?
Yeah, I have a debit card that's linked to my Bitcoin, holdings, so I can go to the ATM machine and pull out as much as, I think, $400 because of the ATM limits, not Bitcoin limits. Or I can take that Visa to any store, and as much money as I have on my Bitcoin account, I can spend. If I have 10 grand, I could buy a $10,000 car. Swipe my Visa, Bitcoin goes into their system as cash through that Visa card. So yeah, you can use it. I can use it as cash.
That's awesome. Yeah, see, the only thing I know about Bitcoin is this story I heard that's called Silk Road, where the dude was selling illegal drugs on, the black market or whatever, the dark web.
Yeah,
well, they were doing that, yeah.
The Silk Road wasn't really run by one person. It was really just kind of like a marketplace where people get together and they sell stuff. And if you have a bazaar or a marketplace and people want to sell stuff, they're not always going to sell stuff that's legal. And so they just so happened to track it back to this guy in Texas named Ross Ulbricht. And he was basically facilitating Silk Road, you could say. He was making sure the servers were up, managing that part of it. So they pinged him for it. But I don't know. Wherever people's morals stand, I kind of think it's a good thing because people are getting their drugs mail order delivery. They're not walking down dark alleys. They're not going to bad places.
But they
want in the mail.
Tax-free dollars. I think he made like $800 million in 3 years or some crazy shit. I don't know what the exact numbers are, and then he wanted people killed. I mean, this is all on TV and online.
Silk Road wasn't run by one person, and it was a giant marketplace. So there were some bad stuff. If you allow for a marketplace where anybody can sell anything, then there's obviously going to be some baddies in the audience that are going to want to sell some pretty bad stuff. So it wasn't just one person who was running the show and wanting all this stuff. He just kind of ran the servers and made sure there was uptime.
Well, the reason I brought that's the first time I heard of Bitcoin, and then I've seen
a lot of people heard about.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You go.
So that's the first time I heard of it, and then but my girl today was like, "What the hell is it?" I said, "Just Google it." I was like, obviously, I mean, there's going to be in the future. We're not going to have money. We're not going to have cash money anymore. You know what I mean? Like, if you have Bitcoin, how can you rob a bank for? I mean, I'm sure they'll figure it out. They just robbed like $1 million in Bitcoin. The hackers hacked into the. I told you about that, Keith, right? I mean, Ken.
Yeah, that was that's an exchange. Basically, the equivalent of that being like a Bitcoin hack or whatever would be like saying that the U.S. dollar was hacked because Target lost 500,000 debit card information. The Bitcoin itself wasn't hacked or something like that, but a facility that people trusted to hold their coin, like a bank almost, they were hacked, and there went the funds. And because Bitcoin isn't regulated and most exchanges don't have insurance, the people that are using this right now, when they lost their money, they had no insurance to get any back. So that's kind of what sets it apart from, a bank versus the exchange. If your money got lost in the bank, hopefully it's insured and you get it back. But not when it comes to Bitcoin. If you leave that somewhere in another facility and that other facility somehow didn't take security into consideration, you could lose your money. Wild West days, just like before banks had insurance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, I'll be honest. I'm really interested in it. I'm glad you had me on because, I mean, I know, like right now, my buddy's making money investing in weed,
Nice.
marijuana out in Colorado. He put up like $5,000. He made $10,000 in 2 weeks. Took his money out, and so I'm looking in different markets to invest, and I definitely think Bitcoin's a good area because I see how passionate you are about it, and obviously there's a reason for that.
I think I'm the reason for that. In the right
Yeah.
Well,
it all started with the Bitcoin podcast, man. That's where my what really grew my passion, and now I'm on the Bitcoin podcast, has been my own podcast. It's this is like a 3-way crossover show. They got the Philly Offensive, On Ramping, and Not Another Bitcoin podcast, all in like one show right now.
Yep.
Well,
So
dude,
Bitcoin is. So let me try and fill you in. Bitcoin is a cash. It's a bearer bond. It is also an investment. It works as an investment. It's done well for me. It's done well for a lot of my friends that listened. To the ones that didn't, sorry for you. It also is a technology. It's a mind-boggling technology. So the way it forms as cash is because it's a bearer bond. Just like a $5 bill is a bearer bond. Whoever is bearing it has the value, right? I can't say $5 is mine if somebody else is holding it.
right.
It's theirs, right? So that's the way Bitcoin works. If you have the private keys to unlock and send the Bitcoin out, then you're the bearer of that private key, so you own the cash. So the thing that makes Bitcoin actually viable as cash is that for the first time on the internet, if I'm going to send something on the internet, I no longer have possession of it. That value has transferred. And that item or whatever it is has transferred. So like right now, if you were to write up an Excel document, right, or a Microsoft Word document, and you send it to somebody, you're only sending them a copy. You have a copy left, right?
Yeah.
With Bitcoin and the way blockchain technology works and how the encryption algorithms work is that if I were to write up a document and send that document away, then it would have to be it would be provable that is the only document like it that exists. So somebody on the other end would take that document, punch it through and verify it on the blockchain, and now you have a unique document. Only one like it that exists. My copy that I have on my end is just a copy, and it can be proven mathematically that it's just a copy. But the one that I sent out on the blockchain, that's the original. So kind of the obvious first use case of a technology is like this. It's like, well, let's use it as cash. If it's digitally unique, and it's provably digitally unique, the obvious first use case is cash. Like if I send ones and zeros to you, those are the only ones and zeros like it that exist like that on the planet. That's an obvious cash.
Right.
And so that's kind of the original inventor, Satoshi Nakamoto, who invented this stuff. He actually invented it to be cash and peer-to-peer cash. Just like a bearer bond. So you're right. Paper cash is going to go away. But there's always going to have to be some form of cash because there's always going to have to be some form of money that is, I don't know, liquid or whatever you want to say. There's always got to be some form of cash that exists. People will make a way. Even if everything is digital, I'm pretty sure there would be like a group of people that are like, well, we're going to start using seashells again because we need cash. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, definitely.
All Bitcoin is a digital form of cash, and since it's not issued by any government, no government can really regulate it. They can only regulate where it shakes hands with their currency. So,
well, like everything, the government will learn how to profit from it.
They're gonna try to. They're trying to now actually with They just ruled that a type of cryptocurrency is actually a security, which makes it taxable. So they found their end, kinda, but Bitcoin's still kind of untouchable.
They're a little late to the party, though.
Oh, the government's always going to be late. They're late to all parties. They just crash them and then take everyone's fun away.
What I really wanted to tell like Timothy about is how like the transfer value part about Bitcoin, where if somebody in China wants to buy a shirt from him, he could sell a shirt for using a Bitcoin wallet, and you can use that instead of somebody, because most people don't want to buy things online, especially from like an individual. You're not like a business, you're not Kmart, you're not Walmart. They don't really want to punch in their Visa information, their first name, last name, their all that information just to buy a t-shirt. They might be willing to just scan a QR code, send you $25 plus some shipping, get that t-shirt in the mail without any of that information being spread to a third party that could risk having more money pulled out. You ever buy something online and the guy messes up and charges you twice, or you end up getting something wrong, or they charge you again 3 weeks later? For me personally, that's why I don't really like to buy things online with my Visa card. I've had too many problems where I'm running low on cash at the end of the month, and somebody on eBay or Amazon or something screwed me, and I got double charged. Now I basically spent more money than I had. But people do want to buy content. They do want to pay for things across borders, and the transfer value system of Bitcoin is definitely, in my opinion, the best way to do so, especially for small businesses and especially for entrepreneurs like the Philly Offensive, where you get people all around the world that want to get your product, but they may not want to go through with all that information that Visa makes them have share, or they may not even legally by their government be able to transfer value from their country to you. So their only option may be Bitcoin, and it's getting to that point more and more. So I think that if you got your website up and running, I think maybe add a little button there. I could help you set it up. There's a couple different systems like Coinbase and BitPay and Coinbase that have merchant services built in, where you could build a button, and when the person clicks the button, they get an auto pop up, says, "Hey, send me $25 plus shipping." They send you that Bitcoin, and it creates a sale that you get on your end as an invoice, and you'll know to send out that t-shirt. And it's a lot cheaper in most cases than using something else, and it's a lot faster. And if you're keeping the Bitcoin as Bitcoin, your business isn't just receiving US dollar, you're receiving Bitcoin. You could keep it as Bitcoin and let that grow as an investment for the business, and then you could reuse it as Bitcoin. If somebody sells t-shirts that you need to resell to your audience, you can keep it as Bitcoin, use it as Bitcoin. Or if you need, like I said, it's cash. You could just link a debit card to it. If somebody sends you Bitcoin, you can immediately turn it into cash, and you're good to go. So you don't have to worry about the volatility.
That sounds good to me.
So
yeah, I definitely hooked that up.
I think I have some more questions though, and I'd like to answer as many as I can, be clear as much as I can.
Your audio is a little choppy, D.
Is it still choppy?
Yeah, it's really weird.
That's strange. Give it a second.
Yeah, it's choppy.
But yeah, Jay, do you have any other questions, anything like that? Yes, one of my comments just said that I could do an open bazaar, which is basically a decentralized marketplace. That would be pretty cool to have the Philly Offensive have its own open bazaar. That would be
pretty cool. Am I still coming in choppy?
Yeah,
a little choppy there.
Let me try something.
If there weren't technical issues, it wouldn't be a live show.
All right, still choppy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I might call back in. Does that work for the live show?
Yeah, you should be able to call back in.
My screen is flipping.
There we go. So, yeah, man, that's why I was trying to tell you. Like, I think it would be a good idea for you to look into it, not even just as an investment vehicle, but as a vehicle for you to receive transfers of value from people all around the world. And then you can keep a percentage of it as Bitcoin, or you can just take it, all of it into cash. It's just for you, the business, a transfer system that doesn't necessarily contribute to the economy of Bitcoin, but in a sense it does, because you're accepting it. You're just not holding it.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I want to learn more and more. I mean, right now I've been working 6 days a week, and I'm so tired. I can't even look at this phone. But
I do appreciate you taking your time for the show, but fire away any questions you got. Just start firing them, and we'll get through them.
Yeah, I want to know. Can I share this live feed on the Philly Offensive?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so I'm at home right. I mean, I'm at my girl's right now. My home computer is home. So next time we do this, if I share this on the Philly Offensive, I mean, you'll probably get 10,000 views in 10 minutes.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, I
that'd
mean,
be pretty cool. Appreciate it.
yeah, I could absolutely do that. And we could have people call in. I mean, they might just all say some fucked up things, but I'm sorry. Can I curse?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you can have
Okay.
us be your Bitcoin correspondents, I guess.
That would be great.
I've been holding meetups in Philadelphia every month, so it would be great to get that out there. If you could show up, it is at the end of the month. It's usually the last Wednesday of every month, and we've been at Northern Liberty's WeWork building, and we have a really cushy room in there with really cushy chairs. It looks really fancy. We used to meet up at 30th Street Station Food Court, so this is totally an upgrade to that. And we're there every month. We help people hands-on. How do they hold Bitcoin? How do they buy Bitcoin? How do you move it? How do you use it? Stuff like that. So if you're ever, I know you're in Philadelphia, obviously. I mean, if you're ever in Northern Liberties, when we're having one of our events, you're more than welcome. And hopefully people in Philadelphia see this and we get a bigger attendance at our next meetup. That would be amazing.
Well, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I can guarantee you the views. I just gotta, I mean, maybe you could stop over and just show me how to do it on a computer. I know about Adobe Premiere, all the other stuff. I don't know shit about.
Okay. Well, so, I mean, I'd like to do that. I'll take callers. They can say whatever they like. I'll just try and educate them and help them understand what Bitcoin is, how it works, what it does, what it's used for, and where it's going. So.
All right, well, that's what we'll do, man. Maybe next weekend we can set it up. No, definitely next weekend. If your guys are available, we'll set it up. And I'll share it directly to the page, and you'll get the views you want.
Yeah, I'll come down in person and I'll help you get hands-on with it. We'll get you your first transaction. I'll send you some. We'll set up your wallet. We'll do it live, and we'll show people how easy it is. Like, everyone thinks it's so complicated. That's like the first step. Like, I have so many close friends and relatives. And I was just at a family event today. My little sister had a baby. She's gorgeous. Her name's Veronica. And it was her baptism party today. And yes, Uncle Kenny, again, my brother has a son as well, who's a cute little knucklehead. But I was at this family party, and every single person that was there was talking to me about Bitcoin. And I was like, every single one of you asked me about this, and I've been into it for a little over a year now. I'm curious, has any one of you bought any Bitcoin? And every single person said, no, I don't understand. It's confusing. And I was like, well, how many albums did you buy on iTunes? And they're like, oh, I bought, Jay-Z's new album. I bought, Lemonade. I bought this album. I'm like, well, if you can buy an album on iTunes, you can buy Bitcoin. It's literally the same steps. You just use Coinbase instead of iTunes. You buy Bitcoin instead of an album. It's the same steps.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm definitely interested. I don't mean to cut this short. I'm just tired, but I definitely want to. I'll text you or hit you up after the show, Ken, and we'll walk through the steps to get this live on the Philly Offensive.
Awesome, definitely.
All right.
Hey, it was nice
man.
to meet
Thank you so much. Yeah, dude, I really appreciate the time. Both of you guys. Thank you so much. All right, guys. Thank you so much for checking out Not Another Bitcoin interview on the BitcoinPodcast.com network, known as Not Another Bitcoin Podcast. Thank you so much. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button, and have a day.